If government impose more laws, then factories have to buy the equipment, and that equipment is very costly. It means higher cost. So what happened? Placing them at disadvantage compared to the firms in other countries. In that case, your costs start rising, your imports gonna be, your exports gonna be decreasing, right? So labor laws, countries with more strict labor laws incur higher expenses, like I gave you the example over there. Should I need to share more light on this?
It's pretty clear actually.
Good. And now business laws. Found in countries with more strict or more restriction on business laws, they may not be able to compete. Strange, huh? So in US, all the bribery that you give to the other countries, they are tax exempted. What does it mean? If you bribe
They
some
don't pay taxes.
if you bribe some
But
politician for your trade, for your business purposes, so that bribery is not taxable from your profit. For example, you pay $2 million to a politician to approve your product over there. So $2 million is deducted from profit, and after the left amount is taxable, which means you can reduce your tax through this bribery as well. Understand?
is it legal?
It is illegal, but since it is under normal business practices, if you are bribing your local country mates, then it is illegal. But outside country, that is not your legal jurisdiction to do that. Or you cannot say that this is illegal. Why? Because your legal system works within your geographies, with your geography, right? If Chinese are bribing
Mm-hmm.
US politicians, so China can say that, look, they are not bribing into Chinese territory. So we cannot hold them accountable. Understand?
Okay. Yeah.
This this is normal practice that more MNCs they are doing. And because of that, you know what happened? The Korean presidents are also sacked. You heard about the famous Samsung scam?
I don't know much about it. I've heard of it,
I
but
think South Korea,
I didn't go into
South
details.
Korea's, I think President Suchi something. If we have,
Because they were bribing the foreign government.
mm, I don't know the much detail, but it involves that Samsung officials bribed or pay her huge amounts through its profit to the country president, because she needs to run this election campaign and all that stuff. So that's why she was caught, and there was like, people are saying that because this is Samsung company in the country and bribing in the country, so it is punished. So that's why she got sacked. So that is one perspective. Maybe they have other perspective as well. Okay, tax break, though not necessarily a subsidy, because subsidy should be in the form of cash or something tangible. But still, the firm, but still a form. It's form of firm. It's a form of government financial support that might benefit many exporters. And I gave you the example of, okay, tax break for 2 to 3 years or 5 years tax break, 10 years tax break, right? Declaring a whole industry, for example, the export of softwares will be out of taxes for 10 years. So it encourages more software houses to invest in softwares, make new softwares, and then sell it to the locally and also outside the country to increase their revenue. And what happened after 10 years, the industry would grow so much, and then government could benefit through its tax revenues. Number 8, country security law. Governments may impose certain restrictions when national security is concerned, which can affect trade as well. What can be? Can you give me the example? I gave you the example over there, but we can have different examples.
Maybe some technology like
You know the Huawei, right? Did you get what I'm going to explain?
Isn't it what you mentioned earlier? Like when yeah, Huawei was banned in USA, right? But
Why is that?
isn't it related to what? Isn't it related to what China did towards the whole world by banning all the other services except for their own?
Yes, and they say that it's
It's
country
like,
security law, in the name of country security law. Similarly,
yeah,
I'm giving you another example, that is Huawei. Another example, but with perspective to US. US said,
okay.
US says the Huawei devices are, spying on our, you know, uh,
People, citizens, and so on.
telephone calls and all those stuff, and they are not giving us permission to access these kind of stuff, so we are banning Huawei. And also there are ZTE technologies as well, this kind of stuff. So when national security is a concern, then they don't care about the trade, right? Then they don't care about whether it's a loss or it's a profit situation. It is the country who is on the topmost priority. Understand?
Sir, but why wouldn't China then ban iPhone if they don't care about the trade laws?
That's their own policy. Maybe they threatened that we are not going to buy US soybean, and we are maybe going to ban or maybe tax heavily the iPhone. No, not tax, going to ban iPhone factories here. But if iPhone factories are banned in China, then iPhone has different, options. They can move their industry to India, or in Vietnam, or in Korea, or in Bangladesh, where the labor is very cheap. So that is why China is reluctant. But I can give you another example. What is this? Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Philippines bananas. Philippines, I think, not thing, I think it's confirmed that Philippines export to China 60% of its banana to China. And what happened? China threatened not to buy banana from Philippines because of its national security on South China Sea islands. You understand that they are having some kind of argument regarding territorial dispute. The South China Sea islands, and Philippines says that it's ours, and China says that it's ours. But what happened due to this national security threat, and they know that we can hurt Philippines through trade. How? If we ban the import of banana to China, 60%, because their major revenue come from bananas exports. So what happened? It's we can take down Philippines, and we can say that this is our territory, and it's really worked well. They ban 1 year their banana because it's a perishable item, and at the end, Philippines say that, sorry, daddy, we are not going to hurt you anymore. And they say that, no, this is not my business. This is America business. America is pushing us to do that, right? So when it comes to national security, so trade can also be used as weapon, and we call this economic warfare. Understand? So that is a new other subject.
Yeah, economic warfare.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have already studied the 5 factors that causes or that affect trade balances, right? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now one thing is that whether the credit crisis can impact the trade. Besides all, like foreign exchange could affect, yes. Government policies affect, yes. Income, yes. Inflation, yes. And also one more thing that we studied, just skip my mind, that is the first one. Here, cost of labor, yes. So besides all these 5 factors, credit crisis can also affect the trade. How? Let's talk about that. The credit crisis weakens economies. What means there's a crisis, now people earning start decreases. They are losing job, national income decreases, right? So the amount of spending, including spending for imported products, also decline, right? It means that if a crisis occurs, can it impact our country or not? For example, we can take the example of the famous crisis in US, and now we are in China. We will be looking at this extent in our coming slide as well, but just giving you a taste here. Now crises occur in US. What happened to the imports and exports of China?
They decreased too.
Now, if China is exporting to US and there is a buyer here in US, its income decreases or its future demand is going to be decreased because people have now less income to spend. And what happened? He will not import much goods from China. It means
Yeah.
China exports
Less.
in China, and you are in China, you say that government policies are still the same. We didn't do anything. Our production is still as good as previous year. Nothing has happened, but why our exports of the goods are decreasing? Because of crisis hit US. Understand? So the crisis can hit you as well. China, yes. So that's why we call that, you know, that financial crisis will go around and round and round. It's a future vicious cycle. And you know that after that, there's going to be like Cyprus example over there, Greek example is over there, right? All of their balance of payments, you know, they trembled and they are failed to pay their debts. So that's why their economies are under bankruptcy.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is it another example? Is it an example for when imports and exports decrease at the same time?
Yes, it can be. It can, because people don't have money, even though in US the financial crisis hit. US exports gonna be decreased. Why? Because people are out of jobs. They don't have money. They lose the job. Then how they can make more goods to export? On the other hand, imports start decreasing because people don't have money left on spending. They will only spend on their autonomous consumption, which is, you know, the necessary consumption for like food. So in that case, exports also decrease, imports also decrease. We call